Greetings, all, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have some extraordinary news that has left Pawn Stars fans in awe. Rick Harrison, the well-known star of the popular reality program, has been sentenced to life imprisonment. That is accurate. It is accurate that you heard it. The man who is renowned for his extensive knowledge of antiques and astute business acumen is currently involved in a surprising and unforeseen legal dispute. In what manner did this transpire? How did a man who established an empire from a pawn shop end up in such a dire situation? If you are as astounded by these developments as we are, be sure to like and subscribe to ensure that you do not miss any of our most recent updates. Please feel free to leave a comment below and share your thoughts on this startling story. The American entrepreneur and television personality, Richard Harrison, was born in Lexington, North Carolina on March 22, 1965. He is more commonly known as Rick Harrison. His path to becoming a ubiquitous name on Pawn Stars was characterized by numerous obstacles. His family relocated to San Diego, California, when he was 2 years old, where he spent his childhood. Nevertheless, Rick's early years were characterized by adversity. At the age of 8, he was diagnosed with epilepsy, which resulted in frequent absences from school and a significant amount of time spent reading. He acquired an impressive understanding of history during these periods of self-education, which would prove to be a valuable asset in his professional life. He was compelled to withdraw from school in the 10th grade due to his health issues. However, he did not perceive this as a setback, rather, he utilized it as motivation to educate himself, particularly in the fields of business and history. Rick collaborated with his father, Richard Benjamin Harrison, who was affectionately referred to as the Old Man, on numerous entrepreneurial endeavors during his adolescent years. This experience enabled him to refine his capacity to assess the authenticity and value of items, a skill that would prove indispensable in his future professional endeavors. The couple decided to marry after Rick's fiancée Kim became pregnant at the age of 17. Corey and Adam were their offspring. However, they divorced in 1981 after 8 years of marriage. Rick and his family relocated to Las Vegas, Nevada, where his father established a gold and silver coin store. The shop was formally transformed into the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in 1989, creating an iconic location that would later serve as the primary setting for Pawn Stars. Rick and his father encountered difficult consumers and even perilous circumstances during their formative years. Nevertheless, Rick's extensive knowledge of historical antiquities and collectibles, which he acquired through these adversities, was instrumental in his establishment of a robust reputation in Las Vegas. If you find this narrative to be startling, please share it with your acquaintances to ensure that all individuals are informed. Please ensure that you activate the notification chime to receive notifications regarding our most recent videos. We will ensure that you are informed of all the latest developments in this case and the upcoming events for Pawn Stars. Rick began contemplating the concept of a reality television program to present the shop's daily operations, as he recognized the entertainment potential of the pawn industry. Despite being initially rebuffed, he maintained his resolve. In 2009, Pawn Stars made its official debut after years of perseverance, as he eventually secured a deal with the History Channel. The program provided viewers with a unique perspective on the pawn industry, featuring captivating historical narratives, rare antiquities, and intriguing deals. It showcased Rick, his father, Old Man Harrison, his son, Corey Big Hoss Harrison, and his close friend, Austin Chumley Russell. They frequently engaged in contentious negotiations while evaluating, buying, selling, and exchanging valuable historical items. Pawn Stars achieved immediate popularity, transforming Rick from a local pawn store owner to a television personality. He soon became a fan favorite due to his vast knowledge, sharp negotiating skills, and no-nonsense speaking style. Rick's iconic catchphrase, "The best I can do is," became a signature moment whenever he made his final offer for an item. Pawn Stars was not only a source of entertainment, but it also provided educational value. Each episode offered captivating historical insights into the items that were brought into the store. This distinctive combination enabled the program to resonate with a diverse audience, including both children and adults, thereby distinguishing it as one of the most noteworthy programs on the History Channel. The pawn shop rapidly became a favored tourist destination, attracting visitors from all over the world, under Rick's leadership. Fans flocked to witness the significant events in person and even had the opportunity to appear in episodes. Consequently, the shop's revenue experienced a significant increase, which in turn sparked the establishment of new businesses such as souvenir sales, book sales, and restaurant openings. Rick's reputation exceeded that of pawn champions. With appearances on a multitude of television programs, interviews with prominent publications, and speaking engagements at business events. Numerous individuals have been motivated by his entrepreneurial journey and business acumen. Rick Harrison, the primary force behind Pawn Stars' success, was recognized for his decisive and pragmatic leadership style, as well as his sharp business acumen. He frequently portrayed the calm and composed character on the show, ensuring that his son Corey's impulsive decisions and Chumley's antics were under control. Rick Harrison has crafted his own remarkable success tale, from a young boy who dropped out of school due to epilepsy to a successful entrepreneur and TV icon. Although Pawn Stars may continue to develop, it is undeniable that Rick is the driving force behind the show's ascent to prominence. Rick Harrison and his father, Richard Oldman Harrison, shared a bond that transcended the conventional father-son dynamic. It was a product of years of collaborative effort. In addition to establishing the gold and silver pawn shop, they also shared a business philosophy that was based on intelligence and honesty. Rick continued to operate the business in accordance with the principles that his father had imparted in him after Oldman's passing in 2018. Honoring the family's legacy. Rick's personal life has been marked by a combination of highs and lows, despite his success with Pawn Stars. He married Tracy Harrison after his first marriage ended, and they were married for 27 years before divorcing in 2011. Rick remarried Deanna Burdee 2 years later in a special ceremony officiated by Danny Coker, the star of Counting Cars. Chun Li served as the ring bearer. Rick's family life is largely kept private, but the rare instances in which he discusses his wife and children on the program demonstrate that he is a devoted family man who is constantly striving to maintain a balance between his professional and personal life. Rick Harrison did not conclude his career with Pawn Stars. Rick's Roll & Smoke, Barbecue and Tavern was established at Pawn Plaza, adjacent to the gold and silver pawn store, as he expanded his business empire. In 2011, he co-authored License to Pawn, Deals, Steals and My Life at the Gold and Silver, in which he shared behind-the-scenes anecdotes about his life and career as a savvy entrepreneur. Rick is perpetually in pursuit of novel opportunities to expand his business ventures and develop his brand. Rick's proficiency in evaluating items has been demonstrated through thousands of transactions on Pawn Stars, which encompass a wide range of items, including uncommon artifacts, classic cars, and historical documents. Rick's willingness to seek advice from experts when confronted with matters that fall outside his area of expertise is indicative of his business acumen and caution. A 2001 New England Patriots Super Bowl championship pendant was one of his most notable acquisitions, which he acquired for $12,600 and subsequently appraised at a significantly higher value. Another noteworthy transaction was the acquisition of a collection of Spanish gold coins that were recovered from a 1715 shipwreck. This acquisition underscored Rick's profound interest in valuable artifacts and history. Rick's existence has not always been without its challenges, despite his remarkable success. In 2023, he was unexpectedly the subject of a federal investigation, which surprised both his admirers and those who were close to him. An extensive search was conducted at Rick's residence and gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas by FBI agents, IRS investigators, and representatives from the Department of Cultural Heritage Protection. A scene that was straight out of a movie was described by witnesses at the shop. Agents detained employees and customers while seizing computers, documents, and numerous artifacts from the store. Rick's son, Corey Harrison, was present at the site and subsequently disclosed that the events transpired at an almost unreal pace. The video footage of Rick being escorted out of his home by Secret Service agents rapidly spread on social media, igniting a wave of speculation as more details about the incident emerged. Allegations of money laundering, tax evasion, and the sale of potentially illicit artifacts are currently under investigation by the authorities. These allegations are the result of complaints from numerous former business associates, as well as suspicious transactions that were identified by financial institutions. Rick has maintained his composure amid the public scrutiny, conducting his business as usual while anticipating the investigation's resolution. Rick Harrison is undeniably one of the most influential figures in reality television, despite the obstacles he has faced. Rick's journey from a bookish young child to a successful entrepreneur and an icon of Pawn Stars is a true testament to the ability to adapt to any challenge, talent, and perseverance. The History Channel temporarily suspended the production of Pawn Stars in the weeks following the investigation. A brief statement was released, stating that the company was monitoring the situation and would make a decision once additional information was available. In the interim, the gold and silver pawn shop continued to operate. However, the legal complications associated with Rick Harrison resulted in a substantial decrease in visitor traffic. Rick's representatives promptly refuted any wrongdoing, asserting that the investigation was merely a misunderstanding and would be resolved in the near future. Rick's counsel, David Marshall, a prominent Las Vegas attorney with experience representing high-profile clients, assured the public that Rick had consistently conducted his business in a transparent and law-abiding manner. As the investigation advanced, alarming information began to emerge. Rick was purportedly involved in a sophisticated scheme to intentionally undervalue specific historical artifacts in order to reduce taxes, while covertly selling them at their true market value in private transactions, according to authorities who claimed to have sufficient evidence. Rick was also accused by investigators of purchasing stolen artifacts through intermediaries, including valuable historical documents and objects from museums and private collections. Subsequently, court records disclosed that Rick's former employee initiated the investigation by electing to disclose his identity. This person asserted that they were directly involved in the acquisition of numerous valuable items and provided information regarding a distinct accounting system that was employed to document sensitive transactions that Rick allegedly intended to conceal from the official bookkeeping. Rick was apprehended shortly thereafter. However, he was promptly released on bond the following day and appeared in court. Tax evasion, money laundering, trafficking stolen property, and conspiracy to illegally purchase and sell historical artifacts were among the numerous serious offenses for which he was indicted. The prosecution's pressure increased as attorney David Marshall continued to maintain his client's innocence. A series of evidence was presented during the trial, which lasted for nearly a year. Rick initially vigorously denied all allegations. However, his circumstances became increasingly precarious as former colleagues began to testify against him. Prosecutors presented a variety of financial documents, encrypted communications, and testimonies from former employees who claimed that Rick had instructed them to modify records in order to conceal significant transactions. A series of communications between Rick and an undisclosed supplier, in which Rick allegedly discussed how to erase the provenance of an 18th-century document believed to have been stolen from a university archive, was one of the most shocking pieces of evidence. Rick was reportedly intending to arrange transactions in order to circumvent reporting requirements for large cash payments in another exchange. Rick maintained his position during his appearances on numerous television programs, particularly those with a conservative perspective, despite the increasing pressure from the trial. He asserted that he was the victim of a campaign that was designed to undermine his reputation and the success of Pawn Stars. A significant number of Rick's supporters rallied in his support, organizing protests outside the courthouse and developing hashtags such as #HatFreeRick to voice their dissatisfaction with the case's handling. Rick's downfall was a significant shock to a portion of the public, as the image of a sharp but straightforward executive that was depicted on television was now overshadowed by legal issues. Legal experts were among those who were taken aback by the ultimate verdict. The courtroom was eerily silent as the judge read the sentence. Rick, who had maintained his composure throughout the trial, became pallid upon receiving the verdict. Chun Lee, Rick's long-standing friend, abruptly exited the courtroom in tears, while his son, Corey, sat behind him with his head in his hands. Some experts argued that the sentence was excessively severe in light of the charges. However, the judge emphasized that the punishment not only reflected the financial crimes but also served as a penalty for the irreparable harm to cultural and historical heritage that Rick had caused. Despite the ongoing controversy surrounding the case, a significant number of Rick's devoted supporters maintain the conviction that he is deserving of compassion. They established support groups on social media, emphasizing that Pawn Stars has been instrumental in facilitating a more dynamic connection between audiences and history, irrespective of the outcome. One devotee shared, "Rick instilled in me a passion for history that school could never provide. We will now demonstrate to him that we have never forgotten the benefits he has provided." During the sentencing, the judge stated, "Mr. Harrison, you have portrayed yourself to the American public as a defender of history, an individual who honors artifacts and values our common heritage. In reality, you have been a part of an illegal network that has contributed to the systematic looting and destruction of priceless cultural heritage for personal advantage. The severity of these actions is incapable of being disregarded by the court." These strong sentiments resonated throughout the courtroom, signifying the formal conclusion of Rick Harrison's distinguished tenure as a well-known figure on Pawn Stars. Rick's legal team filed an appeal immediately following the verdict, contending that the sentence was excessively severe and infringed upon his civil rights as a result of the non-violent nature of the offense. Additionally, they requested that Rick be released on bond while they await the appeal. However, this request was denied. The image of Rick being escorted out of the courtroom in handcuffs soon became a dominant feature on social media and in news outlets. The public's response was swiftly divided. A significant number of Rick's devoted supporters expressed skepticism, positing that the case was flawed and that Rick had been used as a scapegoat for a more significant issue within the artifact trade. In the interim, the severe sentence was endorsed by historians and cultural heritage experts, who viewed it as a critical measure in the fight against the illegal trafficking of historical artifacts. In response, the Hearts for Harrison campaign was initiated by Rick's fan community, which amassed more than 100,000 signatures in support of a review of the verdict. Melissa Jenkins, the campaign organizer, stated, "We acknowledge that Rick may have made errors, however, this sentence is not justice, it is vengeance. It is unjust to impose a life sentence for a non-violent offense. We strongly encourage all individuals to either sign the petition or contribute to Rick's legal fund. Every small contribution, every supportive message, and every prayer could help provide him with a fair opportunity in his appeal." Rick Harrison's son, Corey Harrison, also expressed his opinions. The History Channel promptly severed all connections with Rick, officially canceling Pawn Stars and eliminating all reruns from its schedule. The network conveyed its profound disappointment in Rick's actions in an official statement, while reiterating its dedication to the preservation and honoring of cultural heritage. Rick Harrison was not only a well-known figure in the reality TV industry prior to his legal troubles, but also a savvy businessman who established an extensive empire that extended far beyond the gold and silver pawn shop. The establishment continued to be a popular destination in Las Vegas, despite a decrease in customer traffic following the scandal. The store was repositioned by Corey to regain public trust, with an emphasis on transparency in all transactions and fostering ethical collecting through partnerships with educational organizations and institutions. Corey engaged in an emotional interview 6 months following Rick's conviction, during which he addressed the challenges of maintaining the family business and addressed the issues that were presented during the trial. "We have instituted rigorous verification procedures for each transaction. What transpired was an error, and we are dedicated to contributing to the solution, not the issue," he verified. Austin Chumley Russell, who perceived Rick as a mentor and father figure, also articulated conflicting sentiments. In a podcast interview, Chumley stated, "I have acquired a wealth of knowledge from Rick, including the fundamental business principles that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. However, I must also acknowledge that there was an aspect of him that I failed to perceive, or perhaps I was unwilling to examine." The Harrison family is currently concentrating on providing Rick with assistance during the appeal process, as well as preserving the future of the iconic pawn business and re-establishing their reputation. Many were taken aback by Corey's decision to assume control of the business, as his previous behavior on Pawn Stars was characterized by impulsivity. Nevertheless, Corey has demonstrated his ability to guide the family through these difficult circumstances by leveraging his business acumen. "The encouragement from fans has been a huge source of strength for my dad," he shared in a recent press statement. Corey revealed that he reads every letter he receives and draws strength from the fact that many people still believe in the Harrison family during this difficult period. The family has been holding weekly prayer gatherings on Sundays in front of the pawn shop, where loyal fans gather to show their support for Rick. For those unable to make it to Las Vegas, the family encourages them to send letters, cards, or even memorabilia from Pawn Stars to bring joy to previous viewers. "Small gestures like that mean a lot to someone going through the darkest time of their life," Corey shared. Despite the challenges, Corey believes the gold and silver pawn shop can overcome them. "My dad taught me everything about this business. The good values he instilled are the foundation I'm building on. We've made some big mistakes, but this shop has been a part of Las Vegas for over 30 years, and I'm determined to make sure it lasts for at least another 30 years. Rick Harrison's journey is truly remarkable, evolving from a small-time asset broker to a successful businessman, reality TV star, and now a life-sentenced prisoner. This dramatic turn of events highlights how quickly fortunes can change, particularly under the intense scrutiny of fame. Cultural commentators have likened Rick's downfall to a Shakespearean tragedy, where a person with deep knowledge of history ultimately turned the very artifacts he once revered into tools that led to his destruction. Rick's story now serves as a cautionary tale about the temptations of success and the fragile line between smart business strategies and criminal behavior. This sudden turn of events has not only shocked the reality TV world, but also left his family business in a precarious position without the charismatic leader it once had. During this difficult time, Rick Harrison needs all the support he can get. If you're a fan of Pawn Stars and value what Rick has contributed over the years, consider sending words of encouragement, positive thoughts, or prayers his way. The Harrison family has set up a special website where fans can send messages, which will be forwarded to Rick in prison. According to the family, receiving these messages from supporters has been a great source of strength for him during this difficult time. The website also provides an address for receiving supportive letters, hoping that each letter will bring a little light to Rick during this challenging period. As a statement from the family emphasizes, Rick has always valued the audience of Pawn Stars and knows that your continued support means more than ever. Rick Harrison's journey continues with unprecedented turns in the reality television industry. We will keep you updated on this shocking case, one that not only affects an individual, but also reshapes the family business and challenges the public's perception of success. The story of Rick Harrison serves as a powerful lesson about the unpredictable twists in life and the temptations of success. While his current outcome is a shock, it's undeniable that Pawn Stars has left a lasting impact on its fans. We'll have to wait and see if Rick can prove his innocence and make a comeback, or if Pawn Stars' legacy will continue to grow under the leadership of his son, Corey. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this story. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below the video.